Thinking about moving to Australia, it might not be the paradise you imagine. Sure, it has stunning beaches, unique wildlife, and a laid-back lifestyle, but there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. From skyrocketing housing costs to venomous wildlife, Australia has its fair share of challenges. Want to know what you're really signing up for? Stay tuned to find out why living in Australia isn't always a walk in the park. Let's start with a topic that's on everyone's mind: housing. Affordable housing, or should I say, the lack thereof, is a massive issue in Australia. Picture this: you're earning an average income, yet you're spending a third of it just to keep a roof over your head. That's the reality for many living in Australia. If you haven't already, check out our previous video where we dive deep into the rising house prices and the housing crisis in Australia. Housing prices are soaring and mortgage rates are climbing. Even in Tasmania, which was once a haven for affordable living, typical income households can now only afford about 5% of the homes being sold. For young people and first-time home buyers, the dream of owning a home is quickly becoming just that, a dream. And it doesn't stop at housing. The cost of living in major cities like Sydney and Melbourne is through the roof. It's not just the rent that's high. Everyday expenses like groceries, dining out, and public transport add to the financial burden. With everything so expensive, saving money becomes a distant thought. Many residents find it tough to afford basic necessities, which leads to stress, anxiety, and a reduced quality of life. But money isn't the only issue. Let's talk about time, or rather, wasting it. Traffic congestion in cities like Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane is a daily nightmare. More cars on the road mean longer commutes, more stress, and less time for family and leisure. This doesn't just waste time. It costs Australia billions of dollars every year in lost productivity. And speaking of productivity, finding a job here can be a real challenge, even if you have the skills. With a growing population and many skilled migrants, the competition is fierce. Employers often prefer candidates with local experience, which can be a huge barrier for newcomers. Then there's the cultural adjustment. If you're moving to Australia from overseas, be prepared for some surprises. Australian workplaces value upfront communication. Don't be shy about speaking your mind, even to your boss, and humor. Australians love to joke around, even at work. It might seem odd at first, but it's a big part of building relationships here. Even language can be a hurdle. Sure, they speak English, but Australian slang is a whole new language in itself. You might find yourself confused at first, but don't worry, you'll pick it up soon enough. And while we're on the topic of Australia's unique traits, let's talk about wildlife. Australia is famous for its diverse and fascinating animals, but some of them are better admired from a distance. From the eastern brown snake to the box jellyfish, Australia is home to some of the most venomous creatures on the planet. Knowing basic first aid and being aware of your surroundings is crucial, especially in rural and bush areas. And if you think you're safe in the city, think again. Australia's wildfire season is becoming more intense, thanks to climate change. These fires don't just destroy land, they have long-lasting effects on health, particularly for children and pregnant women. But perhaps some of the most challenging issues are those that are deeply rooted in society. Despite its reputation for being a multicultural haven, Australia struggles with significant issues of discrimination and racism. Indigenous Australians face some of the highest rates of discrimination, and migrants, especially those from non-European backgrounds, report frequent racism and social exclusion. This isn't just limited to overt acts. Everyday racism, like microaggressions and stereotypes, can be just as damaging. And for those seeking asylum, Australia's policies can be harsh. Asylum seekers are often held in detention centers indefinitely, sometimes in offshore locations under dire conditions. Human rights organizations have criticized these practices as abusive and costly. So there you have it. From the high cost of living and tough job market to cultural adjustments and serious social issues, living in Australia is not without its challenges. It's a country of contrasts, stunning natural beauty paired with everyday struggles. Australia offers incredible opportunities, but it's important to know what you're getting into. Are you ready to face these challenges? Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you never miss out on our latest videos about life down under. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.